whatever.
Yeah. So
well,
did I tell you a couple days ago I fell in the garage?
No, I heard about it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I twisted my ankle.
Yeah.
Landed on my rear.
Yeah.
I think I got a bruise back there. You don't really realize how many movements require your rear end until you have a bruise.
Yeah, I should ask the guy down my street.
Why?
He always offers to pay people to do something, and I don't know why.
I don't think I'm doing that.
We got the live button on. We need to get started.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, basically, people know about your butt muscles now.
Oops. Sorry. It's the Something About Something podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Shilley.
And my good friend, Mr. Hurt Heine, Ricky Poe.
Oh my gosh.
And nothing worse than saying Hurt Heine and have the kids in the background screaming. That's hey, Terrence, welcome to the show. Oh man,
and what a show it's going to be.
It's going to be a buttload of fun. Yeah, yes.
Nice,
buttload
Jason.
Of fun.
Nice, Jason. Jason obviously got on just in time. Mm-hmm. Well, your cup kind of goes along with our theme right now.
I know it. So
coffee makes me poop.
That's right. So are you having any natural issues since you hurt your hiney? Sometimes your hiney muscles will get kind of, bent out of shape, and sometimes the job of the hiney muscle can do a good job.
I don't have any problem with what your cup says.
Yes.
But sitting down.
Yeah.
And standing up and bending over.
Yeah.
And rolling over in bed. Yeah. And just kind of moving in general is not fun right now. There's kind of not anything that isn't not fun right now.
Hello, Todd. Mr. Todd. Oh. Yeah, we're talking about Ricky's butt muscles today. That's going to be the main topic. That's the topic of the show. I can't wait till I get the thumbnail of that one and put it on YouTube.
That is not the topic of our show today. Yeah. What is the topic of our show today, though?
You want to sing it? Go ahead.
Wonder Woman. And if you were alive in the 70s, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Yes.
Everything is connected. Exactly, Todd.
That is so true. Yes.
The older you are, the more you realize this.
So why we decided to do Wonder Woman this time around?
I don't know why we decided to do Wonder Woman. Well,
we figured.
I know why we decided to do Wonder Woman because we were discussing what should we do next time.
Yes.
And I had just listened to a podcast.
Oh man. Yeah.
And they mentioned Wonder Woman in the podcast just briefly, and I said,
nice.
Well, we could always do Wonder Woman. You got some crazy hair going on.
I do. I'm afraid my wife may come out of the bedroom from the podcast and straighten it for me, but go ahead.
But anyway, so I was listening to a podcast. They briefly mentioned Wonder Woman, and I messaged you, and I said, well, we could always do a podcast on Wonder Woman.
And my reply was, can we do an hour of Wonder Woman? And guess what? We can. I
think we can do an hour on anything.
Anything, yes. On anything.
Anybody can do an hour on anything.
Yes, especially us.
Wonder Woman and butts. Not the way. Exactly.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
There's a Wonder Woman slot machine with the Linda Carter 70s Wonder Woman song. That is hysterical. I didn't know that was a thing. The original series.
Oh.
Yeah, that's back in the 70s.
Well, if you grew up in the 70s or the early 80s like I did, and you've seen plenty of the reruns, man, we're gonna have some Linda Carter for you today, and all of this is kind of hinged around what's going on pretty soon with Wonder Woman 1984, which I look forward to.
Yes,
and
I am too.
Honestly, I think of all the DC movies, I've enjoyed that one the most. As far as the whole new Justice League era I mean, I'm not talking about...
Definitely the best solo movie so far has been Wonder Woman on the DC side. No, I don't think there's no arguments from me, for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. Godot, she came in and for a little amount of money, she wanted to do it so bad. Did you read the story? It was an old story about...
She wanted to do it so badly that she went really low for the lead actress in a film.
And which is funny because all the other guys got paid so much money and her film did the best.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So far, yeah.
Now, hopefully she asked for took a lower salary and points on the back end.
That's on, yeah.
And I'm not talking about the Heine there.
Okay. Heine. There you go, Heine.
I said back end.
He said back end. Oh.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, when a film is struggling to make a budget, they will sometimes cut deals where an actor will get a lower percentage up front, a lower amount, and then high five, and then get a percentage of the box office take on the backside, which is exactly what happened in the first Iron Man.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Actually, who is it? Is it Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
that played Rhodey in the first Iron Man? Is that, or is it somebody else?
No. He didn't play that. He was. I don't remember the guy's name, but
crap. I can't remember his name. But it's not the person who's playing Rhodey right now, though. But I actually read an article. The guy that played Rhodey actually made more than Robert Downey Jr. for that movie.
That's insane. Is it because
the upfront was more? Now Robert Downey Jr. made a lot of money on the backside.
Yeah, that was a big comeback for him, though. That was a big comeback.
Yes.
I mean, that reestablished him as an actor.
Yeah.
So, big time.
We definitely got sidetracked there.
Yeah, we did.
We're not talking about Iron Man. We're talking
about Wonder Woman. That's bad.
Yeah, that was horrible.
That's good. Sound like my hiney muscles. Sound like my hiney muscles. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yes, I remember watching Wonder Woman, Linda Carter, and you remember Bruce Banner, the old Hulk.
The old Hulk, yes.
Yes.
They had a very similar vibe. The
did.
Look was similar. Very similar to the $6 Million Man that was out just before that.
Yeah. I am not, like I said, I like the movies. I don't know a whole lot of origin besides the research that I've done this past week. And there's a lot of information that I find very interesting, especially concerning Linda Carter when they started the show and how it transpired. So I thought that's interesting.
Yep.
So,
hey, shout out to some people here.
Xena,
Yeah, Chris, thanks for watching.
Yes.
Vance, I've already been putting up your stuff. Thanks for watching. Tiffany, the podcast wife, I'm so so glad you finally got me to watch it. Oh,
that was me.
So you had to con her into watching Wonder Woman.
I did. I told her
she loved it.
Yes, because when she found out the woman could kick all the guys' asses, that was big for her. She said, "Okay, I can get in a show like that." So yes. Oh no! Yes, exactly.
So tell you what, we are going to talk about Wonder Woman quite a bit tonight.
Yes, we are.
But you know what the people all want to hear. If you want to hear it, let us know what you want to hear. Type it down below. You know what I'm about to say. So go ahead and put it in the comments so we can see it, because we know you want to see it. Except they're not typing it. Because
they're not going to type it.
Well, even if they do, the comments are so behind.
We'll just go ahead and just do it.
We just need to do some stupid news.
We just do it. Let's do it.
Let's do some stupid news. It's the Stupid News with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
Well, I tell you what, my friend, a lot of times you're in a situation, and I've had to call 911 when I've seen situations out front things that go in bad, sometimes what is going on? What did my wife just say? Did she say something?
I had to ask him like 5 times before we finally watched it.
Let's keep the fights off the internet, please. Thank you. Let's do that.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
Never say anything that might damage the relationship.
That's right. Now,
while you're live on the air.
On Stupid News, I have something from Florida. I bet you were surprised about in situation.
It's all right, Chris. We don't know what we're talking about.
We don't know what we're talking about either. So anyway,
we do Stupid News every week, and the crowds love it.
Yes, all 2 people.
So what do we got here?
Apparently, cops in Florida had to make a special house call after a man repeatedly called 911 to report that his roommate stole his weed. That's right. His roommate stole his pot. Yes, according to a tweet from the Pasco County Sheriff's Department in Florida, a deputy was dispatched to the man's house to let him know that his call weren't going to get the police to investigate the crime. He said, all right. He said, all right, so I just received a call. The guy's calling and saying his roommate stole $20 worth of weed. That's right, $20 worth of weed he's upset about, the deputy said. He said the deputy...
Is weed legal in Florida now?
Apparently so. Apparently it's but it's $20 worth, so I don't know if that's
it's not enough
to report. Yes. Finally, after calling the police over and over, having to go back to the guy calling into the report of his drugs stolen, finally the sheriff's department went out there and they basically told him, while recreational marijuana use is still legal, actually, it's illegal.
Oh, it's still illegal in Florida.
Yes.
Oh, because he didn't have his card.
No, he didn't have his card. He didn't have glaucoma.
Oh, wow.
You didn't show there we go. Got to stay on top of that.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I can't.
What else we got?
Oh, wow, man.
That's right. I don't know about you, but sometimes I like going to the Bass Pro Shop. Sometimes I like to see what they've got going on in the Bass Pro. Well, in this situation, it's a little bit different. Apparently, there's a video that shows a man who walked up the stairs, dived into a tank at a local store at a Bass Pro Shop in Dayton, Ohio. You can show that picture right now.
Let's see. Which one's this?
This is the Bass Pro Shop. Well, we got it together.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
This is actually an individual who's actually dived into the tank that they have at every Bass Pro Shop. A manager followed the man out the store and saw him leave in a silver sedan. Apparently, the guy is still on the loose, menacing around the area. The incident is illegal, dangerous, highly discouraged.
And disgusting. Have you seen those things?
I know.
That is the scummiest looking fish tank in the world.
I know.
I would never jump into that.
They said this is not the first time a fish tank at the store has been used as a prank. 3 high school students dove into it in 2011 and then got out and ran. There is a reward for the man for $3,000 for information to lead to his arrest. So there you go.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, this is my next. The next one is interesting to me. It's a Florida man. This is Florida night, basically, but
Florida night, man. Florida man night. I can't talk today.
I can't either. I don't even know what I'm trying to do news for. On the next. Hey, Ricky, set me up on this. All right, a man breaks into a bank to heat up his hot pockets and tell the news it was effing worth it. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. An unidentified man broke into a Callisview bank on Wednesday morning so he could heat up his hot pockets. When the news interviewed the suspect, when he was being arrested, he said, "Dude," told him effing it was worth it. He said, for a hot pocket, hell yeah. That's right.
There's nothing I would do to eat a hot pocket. It's like the opposite of worth it. Eating a hot pocket.
Apparently, he went through the banked drive-through window, and so and basically made it into the break room inside the bank, using the microwave to heat up his hot pockets.
Oh my gosh!
So apparently, it was effing worth it. And yes, that's
yes, Todd. Some weeks it is like that.
And instead of the other one, I think it's time to do one of our favorites. We're going to do a Joe Exotic update. That's right.
You know, you cool cats and kittens.
I so didn't want to throw that picture up there, but I did it.
I did it just for you.
Oh my gosh! One more time.
Oh my goodness.
If you fought for that, ladies and gentlemen, you're worse than a bunch of nuts in a squirrel tree.
That's right, Mr. Joe. So, have you heard the latest news, the latest battle between Carol Baskin and Joe Exotic?
I have. This is a court case that's been going on since 2016. So 4 years. They have been battling it out over a copyright dispute, and she had apparently won the copyright dispute quite a while back.
Yeah.
And Joe owed her $1 million for the court case.
That's right.
Yeah.
Apparently, they basically until the judge, I think the judgment was for the zoo that's owned by Jeff Lowe, has now been given to Carol Baskins in the case of the money that Joe has been that's owed her from the back case that he couldn't afford to pay for. So right now, according to the court documents, Lowe has 120 days to vacate the zoo, which he had renamed Tiger King Park, and to remove all the animals. So all the animals, he's got to move. His nanny has to move.
Yeah, his nanny.
His nanny has to move.
Yeah, everybody has to move off the property. They've got
Toothless
to remove
Joe.
All the portable buildings have to be removed. All the animals have to be removed. Carol now owns the property, the land.
And that is that's located in, I don't know, what casino? It's
Wynnewood.
Wynnewood.
It's in Wynnewood.
Yeah.
Now, Jeff Lowe had been talking about moving the exotic animal park down further south to, I can't remember the name of the,
Yeah,
I can't remember the name of the town, but there's a huge casino down there, and he was hopeful that Thackerville.
Yes.
He was hopeful that they would be able to draw traffic from the casino to be able to keep the park going down there. So there was plans to move anyway, but now he won't have the funds from the sale of the land. Carol will, if she can sell it. I don't know if she can. I mean, it's Wynnewood. Is it really worth $1 million? It's a lot of acres.
It's a lot of acres, yeah.
But I don't know if it's worth $1 million.
I don't know either. But there was a comment by Exotic Joe. He said,
"The hot nanny, yes,
Terrence. The hot nanny, yes."
If you don't know what we're talking about, then you should check out Tiger King on Netflix. They don't support us. We don't endorse them. They don't endorse us. But we live a couple of hours north of where all this happened, so we keep tabs on it.
It explains a lot. And also, Exotic Joe, he's recently said about this that he's done with Carol Baskin saga. He says now it's time to turn the tables and get out of jail a free man and exonerate my name from these charges. So,
oh my goodness,
that's right.
So bad. Oh, so we did have a question earlier.
Yeah.
Rob asks, "What is a hot pocket?" Rob, if you don't know what a hot pocket is, you are better off for not knowing.
You're blessed.
Be blessed that you don't know.
It's like it's like lava surrounded by this very icy part, and
It's
like a 3rd-degree burn with frostbite.
It's like
yeah.
a chubby Pop-Tart with meat and cheese in it.
That don't sound very good.
Well, have you had one?
Yes, I have one.
They're not very good. So
They're not very good.
why should they sound better than they are?
Let's end this. Let's end this now.
All right. This has been the Stupid News with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
All right, let's get to some Wonder Woman, my friend.
Wonder Woman.
Woman from the show Turdy Works.
Nice.
So, where should we start, my friend? Where should we start? We have a lot of good stuff
Wonder
here.
Woman. You know what? Let's start at the beginning. It's a very good place
That's
to
a
start.
good place to start.
And
Yes.
if you don't know the reference to that song, well, you know,
Yes.
go watch old musicals. But yeah, let's start. That Wonder Woman. I'm sure all of you know who Wonder Woman is, but Wonder Woman actually was created in the 40s, right?
Yeah. I think 1943.
1943, and I'm trying to remember the name of the gentleman. He was a
Psychologist.
psychologist. I'm looking his name up. William Moulton Marston. William Marston. He also went by Charles Marston. Charles Moulton.
It was
really
October 1941. First
And-
appearance was All Star Comics #8. So
Yeah, and he was a psychologist, and then there was a comic artist as well that was involved, and the comic artist was Harry Peter. So he's kind of the one who. Sorry, that's his name.
say what? What was his name again? I didn't hear you. What did he say his name? What did he say his name? Can you say his name? Oh my goodness.
I can't breathe.
Oh, man.
Hey, man. Hey, man, are you okay?
Oh, I'm hurting here.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Terrence apparently actually knows a little bit about this story. Oh my gosh.
well, you. Oh.
Okay, so the comic artist that will remain nameless because apparently we are 12-year-old boys. And we can't get through just saying his name. And William Marston came up with this idea for Wonder Woman. Now, his idea for Wonder Woman, she was kind of a combination of women. He was very involved in a feminist movement, and he was a very progressive person, and he was in an arrangement with two women that they all lived together in the same place, and he got fired from multiple colleges because they would find out he was basically married to two women, and they would fire him. But he had this. But the other person was.
yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
We are.
But Margaret Sanger is someone else that she was supposed to be kind of developed from. And if you don't know Margaret Sanger is of Planned Parenthood fame. A thruple. Terrence says a thruple. I don't know what that is. I don't want to know about it.
I'll Google it while you.
I wouldn't Google that.
No, you wouldn't. Might be right next to
Not
Harry
safe.
Peters.
Probably.
right next to
Yes.
harrypeter.com.
Not safe for work there.
Don't go to harrypeter.com. That was a big mistake. Some
gosh.
ads are popping up now.
So, but
let's see here.
But that was kind of the development of Wonder Woman, where she came from, and she was kind of supposed to be like the anti damsel in distress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that was kind of the trope back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely freaky stuff. And the other thing was, in the old comics, in the first comics, do you know about this? Like, her getting tied up and escaping was kind of the thing in every comic.
Really?
Yes. There was definitely some
Something was
questionable
symbolic about that.
Yes. Some sexual symbolism there, as well as some symbolism of women are stronger than men give them credit. But there was some weird stuff. So before we go on, yes, Terrence, a lot. It's the weirdest thing. It's so strange.
What is the show turning into?
I don't know. Okay, so I have one.
No,
other
I'm sorry. We went from her hiney muscles. We went from Harry Peter to bondage. Okay, you go next.
This is the most bizarre show we have ever done. So there's one other thing that before we go on from what it's all about, all about accessorizing, exactly. So there's one other thing about Wonder Woman. You know her lasso, her golden lasso.
Yeah.
And what would it make you do if you were wrapped up in the golden lasso?
Tell the truth.
You would tell the truth. Well, do you know... Are you aware of what William Marston invented?
No. Sock it to me.
He developed the lie detector.
Really?
Yes. He developed a lie detector, the blood pressure cuff thing, reading the ability to knowing whether you're reacting normally to a question.
Yeah.
The blood pressure cuff thing is can't stop laughing. So that's where the lasso of truth came in. And there's even so I recently listened to a podcast, and this is what I was saying earlier. There was this podcast I was listening to that was talking about the lie detector and how well it worked or didn't work. And then they brought this guy up and they talked about Wonder Woman. And they said there's even a comic book, one of the early issues is Wonder Woman coming into a court of law and proving to the judge that she could make people tell the truth. And just before this issue came out, he had gone to court and was attempting to prove that his method worked, and the judge turned him down because the judge said it wasn't proven science yet, and when it was, then it could be used. So they wrote the comic on the idea that that you could find out the truth from people. So anyway, that's my
fascinating.
spiel. Isn't that the weirdest thing?
That is the weirdest thing ever. Yeah, I didn't know much about Wonder Woman until this show. We started doing some research on it, and it was fascinating. The guy was a psychologist. And of course, he enjoys the ladies. But anyway, I found it interesting going through the history of Wonder Woman from the very beginning till now is that how the powers that she has changed, throughout.
At one time, couldn't she fly?
One time she could fly. And coming up in 1984, there are speculations that she may be able to fly again.
Really?
Yes. So
Not in an invisible jet.
no. So
I dig the invisible jet.
yeah. Now she still has the jet because she can't take her friends. Her super friends.
Our super friends, yes.
Yeah.
You
So-
beat me to it, dang it.
So we're going to talk. Hey, we can go with Linda Carter, or we can go with Godot, or we can go over some of the powers. I find the powers interesting. But
Let's
go
do
ahead
the
and
powers. Let's do the powers.
let's go ahead and do that. Yeah,
I have the feeling most of our audience knows the Linda Carter, some of the Linda Carter stuff.
yeah.
But let's talk about the powers over the years.
Well, may know it more than I do. Like I said, this has been a learning experience. I only know some of the minor things from a kid. So, but yeah, as far as the powers go, it's interesting. They talk about the her golden eagle armor.
Oh, okay.
And- No. Are we talking about the right thing? Are we?
Wait, I don't know.
I don't know. Let's talk. You're killing me. What's going on here?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
We're going to talk about Wonder Woman. We're going to talk her powers and abilities, and this is going to be from 1984. They're going to talk about the movie coming up.
Oh, okay.
Her
so
abilities.
This is what her abilities are in the movie. Okay. So she's got this new thing, right?
Well, I mean, one of the things is this golden eagle armor, and
I saw this. Honestly, I thought they were going to bring Hawk Girl into
well, that's what I thought too.
into the DC universe.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of going with the 1980s vibe here.
Post disco,
Yeah. It's
late disco.
I don't know much about this armor. I just know that this is one of the possessions she has for her, I guess, for her powers. The other thing is she has an improved lasso combat, which we saw in the trailers.
Yeah, she does. She does a lot more with the lasso in the trailer. I'm hoping that that's not like, okay, we showed it all to you. Because sometimes you see a trailer and it's like, what they showed you in the trailer is all there is.
Yeah, it's interesting. She, of course, the lasso is also the lasso of truth. So, but also too, this is interesting. Some of the things. First, they're talking about, of course, her armor, and then two, they're going to talk about they have her lasso combat.
Yeah.
And this I didn't realize a lightning swinging. Now,
What?
that's the first I've heard
What is
about
that?
this. Exactly. It hasn't been featured in the comics or any movies. But the trailers of 1984 shows Diana swinging from a lightning bolt as Spider-Man would from a building. She's able to grab hold of these lightning bolts using the lasso of truth, and then swing towards another nearby bolt. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was about to say, so this goes back to something that I read recently. I'm not super up on Wonder Woman until we started doing this show.
No, same here.
And started reading it, and there was some interesting things. So, original origin of Wonder Woman, she was carved out of clay.
In the original, yeah.
And then given powers.
Yeah.
And godlike powers. Mm-hmm. But at some point, the story changed, and she became the daughter of Zeus.
Of Zeus and her mother, who I can't pronounce the mother.
I can't remember her name. But her mother was an Amazon.
Yes.
So now she's actually a demigod.
And actually, because she was in charge, she was a prime Amazon. Amazon. She was a prime Amazon.
That was lame.
Okay, let's go.
That was good.
Let's
okay,
go to the. Okay, go ahead.
So I guess this is where this new lightning swinging power comes from.
Yes.
I think that is the most bizarre thing I've ever heard.
Well, and in here, this is from Screen Rant. In this actual article, it says, as the daughter of Zeus, the god of sky, thunder, and lightning, and considering Diane's own abilities to harness lightning, this is a natural evolution of her powers. So there you go.
Okay.
And then the invisible jet. The very thing that you love is the invisible jet. And which is interesting because in the 1980s we had what? We had the stealth bomber, which was invisible. So
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, in this picture, if this is supposed to be her invisible jet, this looks rather visible.
yes, it does.
And this picture, I think, is what we need to talk about after this.
Yes,
Yes, I think that's where we need to go next.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
So,
and
so
next,
then we have one more power.
yeah, next is flight, which is interesting to me because I have. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, if you have flight, why do you have to swing from lightning bolts or have an invisible jet?
That's a good question. They apparently she already been shown jumping great distance in the sky. They're talking about she even levitated a bit at the end of Wonder Woman. They were saying, but the sequel could be where she actually flies. There's promotional material from the movie that teased the flight is one of Diana's new powers. So I don't know if this is like a evolving power thing or not. She was able to glide with the air currents during the Silver Age, gained the power of flight. Actually, she gained the power of flight from Hermes in the New 52. So so in New 52, she was able to fly, and there was a big emphasis between a relationship with her and Superman having a relationship. So don't tell Lois.
Todd asked an interesting question. Active camouflage jet, is that what her invisible jet is? It's not actually invisible, it's just
That's true.
I don't
That's
know.
true.
I don't know how that works. Are we going to have one of those LED camera on the other side jet things? Like it plays a video of the other side?
But in the 70s, do you remember Linda Carter would get into that in the plane and you can see her, but the jet was invisible? You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, so
That Super Friends was the same way. I was
Yeah.
like, I always thought that was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
It was like, is it weird to have Wonder Woman in a plane, or is it weirder to have Wonder Woman in a seated position just flying around?
exactly.
So strange.
So So what do you want to talk about next? You were talking going back to the invisible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not the invisible jet, but why? How does Chris Pine come back?
That's a good
How was he
question.
alive in the 80s? Because wasn't it the 40s?
Yeah, no, actually, it was in the original, it was the 1940s.
But in the movie,
it was in World War One, so it was like 1918 during that time. So
okay, still even
yeah,
worse.
still, yeah, no, I mean it's even worse. Considerably, it's the events of 1918 he was in. So
How does he? Have they explained this at all? I haven't read up on this at all. It's the big question I had from all the trailers. Was like, how does this guy come back?
or Patty Jenkins, who is actually the director of 1984 that's coming out, and she was also behind the Wonder Woman from last year.
Okay.
She was talking about that. She said that she confirmed that Chris Pine's character is Steve Trevor, and yes, he'll be back and will be a part of an intro story. They were asking her, okay, so how is that happening? Well, she just said, it's not some gimmick to get folks in the theater. We're explaining exactly how Steve Trevor survived that accident. So basically something happened in the accident, if you've seen the first movie.
Yep. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Not only does he miraculously survive this horrific plane explosion, he gets blasted into 1984.
Yeah, they had one possible clue behind Steve Trevor's return may lie in I guess it's in the description of Wonder Woman 1984's villains. Maxwell Lord, which is the main villain in this. Maybe it has something to do with him because Maxwell Lord, he was really big on mind control. And from my understanding, He was a criminal mastermind. And so and it was something about selling dreams to the public in movies. So it's kind of like, is it something that has to do that bringing back Steve, some kind of multiverse?
Maybe he's not really back. She just is imagining that he's back.
I don't know. It could be. So because of the villain,
Terrence said time travel. That was my deal. I was like, okay, we're just gonna blow him into 84.
Exactly. But
cryonics, cryonics. We could just do is he Captain America?
Well, his first name is Steve, so
exactly. Aliens. Way to go, Jason.
Well, the thing is, since we're talking about Lord Maxwell again, I don't know a whole lot about these characters until I started doing some of the research. But the main villain is being played by Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian.
I had read that.
Yes.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. So, I found that interesting. And I don't know if there's a history with this guy, with Lord Maxwell. Apparently, he has they focus on the 1980s. I don't know if you can show a picture of him or not. That we have
which
up
one?
there. It's the one. I think you already showed that one already.
This is the one where there's a woman on either side of him.
Yes, that one right there.
Yeah,
that's him for this movie. He was also he's also a villain within the comic books, Maxwell Lord. This is the 1970s version through the comic books, which is more in line with the Lord Maxwell of the movie.
Okay.
But something about this they were talking about in the movie, and they were saying, and I don't know if you read this or not, is that his major thing is basically washing of the minds, controlling people's minds. And in the 1980s, basically, and I didn't realize this, but they were saying that was a concern. It basically, I'm going to read this article real quick. It says, as indicated in Wonder Woman 1984, it's very 80s, back in the 1980s, the power of brainwashing was a concern people had in America through its roots went back to the 1950s. It came in many forms. Some thought it was a tool used by the Soviet Union. Others believe it was consumerism driven by brainwashing people into thinking they needed to buy these things. This is where Lord Maxwell comes into play.
Interesting.
And so I think a lot of this has to do with that. And it's interesting, Steve Trevor, somehow, is it time travel? Is it something to do with, in a stasis of time, or is it being manipulated by, brainwashing or daydreams? I don't know. So
hard to tell on this one. Now there are a couple other characters that are supposed to reprise their roles. Diana's mother is returning.
Yeah.
And then the character that died, the one that was she was kind of the head Amazon.
Yeah.
She did a lot of the training. She's
Yes.
supposed to be returning as well. I'm not sure if those are real returns or if those are going to be flashback returns.
Yeah, I don't know. Christine Wiggs is going to. She's from former Saturday Night Live, and she played in the female version of Ghostbusters and Anchorman. Kristen Wiggs. She's coming in, and she's going to play Cheetah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she'll
That
be
could be
playing.
good.
She'll be playing that role.
That was another thing when I was researching this a little bit. I realized Cheetah was about the only supervillain I knew about that was kind of the Wonder Woman supervillain. I really didn't know any of the Wonder Woman the Wonder Woman supervillains. Did you? Were you familiar with them?
I mean, until I started doing this research, I had no clue. I mean, Cheetah is one I've heard of, but it was until we started talking about doing the show. And, after watching Wonder Woman, the movie, and loving it, and 1984 coming, I figured, well, let's dig into the lore of Wonder Woman. So, yeah, this is the first for me. The only people I knew that in the villains was when she was with the Justice League, and that was it.
Yeah, and those are kind of the big bads of DC Comics anyway.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
especially a Wonder Woman villain.
Exactly.
So I'm interested to see if they will start bringing some of these characters to light, other than Cheetah.
Yeah.
And will there be a third Gal Gadot Wonder Woman movie?
Well, they're already talking about it.
Are they?
Yes, they're already.
Has it been slated yet, or
Hasn't
just
been
in discussions?
It's in discussion right now, but
Okay.
it's already being talked about, and by the same director, Jenkins. So she's looking. She was actually asked to do the Justice League, but she decided not to, just because of just timing and disagreements, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But hey, let's take a look at, I saw this the other day. I saw this on Screen Rant, and they were pulling up the top
What you got?
10. Yeah, the
Top
10
10 costumes.
top 10 costumes. Now they put it in they put them in an order from 10 to 1. This is not us.
Yeah.
But I'm just,
We're gonna start with number 10.
yeah, let's start with number 10. This right here is Wonder Woman. Apparently this is from 2011. I'm not
Live
familiar.
action. Was
Yeah.
this made for TV?
Yeah, it was a 2011 film starring Adrian Palek as Wonder Woman. They said fans cringed when they laid eyes on this outfit because it just didn't look right. Yeah, they said the
Is she
top.
wearing like shorts? Those are weird.
I don't know. I've seen this actress before, but I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember this movie. So
I don't either.
you would think I wouldn't. This had to be, what is a foreign film or something? Because
Wonder Woman
yeah.
2011.
Yeah. Terrence has said that one is terrible. Apparently,
Yeah, it was a made for TV.
it was made for TV. Okay. Well, that makes
Modern
some
day Wonder Woman.
Yeah, yeah.
I never saw this. That's so. How did I not see this?
Yeah, 'cause we love watching campy stuff, no matter
I
what
know.
it is.
Exactly. Oh wow, it is kind of lame.
Now on this top 10 list, they also, not only did they do live action, but also some of the animation movies. This was Justice League Gods and Monsters. This
That
was
is
kinda,
the most bizarre costume.
yeah. It takes place in an alternative universe, so it is a
gotcha.
drastic change in her outfit. So, so it's a little bit, yeah. So, on the next one, I love this next one, Wonder Woman 1974.
Yes, I did not know this, but Linda Carter was not actually the first live action Wonder Woman.
No, yes, it was Kathy Lee Crosby was her name.
She was an Olympian, right?
Yeah, this is an older film from 1974. It starred Kathy Lee Cosby as Wonder Woman, and her outfit was fitting of the times. It was fairly basic, as it combined a long belt jacket and a blue tights and a tall boots. It was modified garb, didn't resonate with fans, as nothing about the actress or her costume resembled the well-known heroine from the comics.
And it was kind of like a backdoor pilot for the
Yeah.
Linda Carter show.
Exactly. And
Speaking of Linda Carter,
that's right. Wonder Woman, 75 to 1970. Yeah, 75 to 1979. Yeah.
so how many of you out there, this is your Wonder Woman? This is the Wonder Woman that you remember. This is the one I remember.
This is the one I remember too. Yes. It's funny. Linda Carter, she gave a big thumbs up. She's a big supporter of Wonder Woman and the next
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. They had talks about her doing a cameo, maybe.
That would be great.
Wouldn't
She
that be
should
nice?
totally do a cameo. Just a walk on,
Yeah.
really quick,
Yeah.
just a throwaway, but it would be great.
But Godot, she was very humble because Linda Carter on Twitter said how wonderful that Godot is and how wonderful the movie was, and so just gave her just the big thumbs up. Linda Carter is also also, I don't know if you've seen any of the WB movies, CW, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
TV shows, but Linda Carter actually plays a president, and I think it's Supergirl. And
Really?
There's an agency that her Supergirl's stepsister works for, and Linda Carter is the president, and she was on several times. So I thought it was interesting. And she's supposed to be doing some voice acting for some animated stuff that has to do with Wonder Woman. Coming up in the future. So anyway,
and she actually had 2 different versions of her costume during the course of the show, just with slight changes.
Well, what's interesting, it first started out, and we'll get into that in the next one here.
Okay.
But on the next one is the animated Justice League Adventures, Trapped in Time. Of course, her suit looks more like...
It looks a little more like Gal Gadot.
Yeah, Gal Gadot. I said Gadot. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Gadot.
I don't know. I've heard it pronounced both ways.
Yeah.
I think you're fine.
I don't know about that. But on the next one, the Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox. This was the Flashpoint. This is where Flash goes. I mean, he goes so fast that he throws off time. And this is an alternative universe. So this is kind of the Elseworld type of deal going on here.
Gotcha.
And on the next one is Justice League War 2014 was the year. It's has a very different look about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a real blue and muted colors.
Yeah. I kind of like the color. It's the not the bright.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, number 3 is Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice.
And her costume has changed it's changed a bit every time.
Yes, it has.
And earlier, Terrence actually asked, she's got the sword and shield in this image. And he said, are her sword and shield going to come back for the new movie? And I don't know that I've seen it in the trailers at all.
I haven't seen it all in the trailers, so it would be interesting. I don't know.
Now, I really liked this suit. I thought when they brought it out, I thought it was fitting. You knew this was Wonder Woman. There was no doubt in your mind that she is Wonder Woman. It kind of made sense.
I liked it.
Especially with the rest of the... It fit with the Superman costume. It fit with the Batman costume. It just had the right look. It fit within the universe. It made sense.
Well, it wasn't gaudy either. I mean, it wasn't tacky.
Right.
It wasn't cheesy.
Yes.
I mean, it was it was well represented, and so I really liked that. Yeah, she was yes, that's right. We missed somebody here.
Oh, Terrence. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, we're getting to you. Sometimes it's a little slow getting the comments. So because
Wonder Woman for President 2020.
Well, that would be a good change. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything. Can't stay out of that. But well, that's a good question. The new movie with all the delays with the virus and
had they finished shooting? They'd finished shooting.
They finished shooting, and it was supposed to be out to theaters. Well, I'm going to look at that. You keep talking. You're going to Google that or me?
I'll grab it real quick.
You goggle it? Okay. I did have it on here, and then I forgot. But yeah. But it has several delays. And the other...
Right now, they're saying August 12th.
Okay.
So we'll see if that holds.
And the next one, number 2, is Wonder Woman. It's the different outfit that she had on was... I guess it was more.
This
was already mentioned. Yeah.
This was the Wonder Woman movie outfit.
Yes.
So it was slightly brighter, slightly shinier, less muted. It didn't have that dark tone that the Batman versus Superman had, but her film was a little brighter too.
Yeah. Well, the next one, 1984, is totally 80s.
Wow.
That is something else.
I'm expecting her to start busting into a pop song right now.
Something. I'm about to have
that is bizarre. Is she not going to have a traditional Wonder Woman suit at all?
I don't know.
Or is this just she's going to have multiple outfit changes?
I'm sure that she's going to have because look at in one of the
eagle
in
thing?
in the trailer. I mean, she had
That's true.
in the trailer. She had her what I call the normal, the norm Wonder Woman, the traditional. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would say that would. So I think she has several. I think she has a large apparel in her closet. So anyway,
Probably.
But it was interesting. We were talking about Linda Carter earlier. Back in the 70s, you didn't have all the support, the technology, the assistance like you did, and
there's no CGI in the 70s. If you wanted something to explode, you had to blow it up.
Yeah. What's interesting is that this one is Screen Rant, and they're talking about not so much the top 10, but they were talking about the top 10 things you didn't know about her costumes that she wore.
Yeah. This is kind of an interesting.
Yeah.
I thought this was an interesting article.
And they had number 10, and they were talking about how it was very. No, that's the other one.
The other one.
Sorry.
All right,
yeah,
sorry.
that's okay. No, it's all right.
Is this one it?
No, it was the one that she was.
There we go.
Yeah.
That she did a lot of her own stunts.
Exactly. She did a lot of her own stunts, and doing her own stunts, she had this real flimsy outfit. I mean, there was no protection. I
know.
It was spandex.
Man, you fall and you're going to scrape up your knees and your elbows and your hands.
And she's got no room for wardrobe malfunction. I mean, she's all there. I mean, there's no protection, no strap, no nothing. The same with on the next one, number 9.
Your wife wants to know if she wears leg warmers.
I don't know.
In the 80s.
I think
she'd better.
Probably does, yeah.
If somebody's not wearing leg warmers and that fuzzy headband, and doing jazzercise in the 80s, then somebody failed.
And we all know the Wonder Woman spin.
Yep, the spinning transformation. I thought this was kind of interesting. So you've got, you didn't have CGI, but you could do some effects with movies.
Yeah.
Some compositing is what you call it. And apparently in the first few episodes, they had some compositing where they slowed everything down, and they realized it just cost too much and took too much time. So that's where we get the traditional spin and light flash, and then she spins back into her other costume.
Yeah, apparently originally this was done in slow motion.
Yeah.
And I guess they did a slow fade in her superpower, whatever that was. This is what's interesting. We were talking about earlier where she had 2 outfits.
Yes.
Number 8 costume change. This I did not know this. They said the show.
Oh, wrong one.
Yeah,
Costume change. There we go.
They said the show was.
I did not know this.
No,
and I don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't either. The show was a big hit, and apparently, it was on ABC, and it was on a World War II setting. And apparently, even though
I
it was
not remember that at all.
Even though, and of course, that's kind of, and it goes back to the comic books because that's where it started in World War II. So what's interesting about this is that even though it was a hit, ABC didn't renew it because it cost too much to do a 1940s production. They couldn't afford doing that genre.
Yeah.
And so CBS picked it up and they said, let's just make it a modern day show. So it was the 1970s version of Wonder Woman, and that's when the costume changed. So you'll, because that one.
The only thing I can think of is in the 1970s, this was what, 77?
I think so.
77, 78?
Yeah.
So at that point in time, I was living in the backwoods of Georgia, about an hour south of Atlanta. And when I say the backwoods, we had 2 acres.
Yeah.
We lived on a dead-end road. It was a 30-minute drive into town. We lived a ways back.
Yeah.
So, when the TV didn't get good reception, you had to walk outside and turn the antenna pole because the antenna was on a pole. But only thing I could think of is maybe we got CBS and we didn't get ABC.
Well, it could be.
Because I don't remember Wonder Woman in a World War II setting at all on television.
I don't know. You're 20 years older than I am.
I am not 20 years older than you are.
And let's go to the next topic. Yeah, she fought. She fought Nazis.
She fought Nazis.
Yeah, and that was from the comic book in the 1940s. And they tried to do this on ABC, and again, it was costly. But on the next one, on the next one is her outfit that they changed in the 70s. By Rob. So, number 8 was her outfit when she was in World War II on ABC, and this is the one from CBS when they decided to pick her up and just do modern day. So
this was World War II.
This was World War II, and this was the 70s.
And we get the eagle kind of look there in the front now.
Yeah, yeah. And you can kind of tell the one from number 8. It has more of the comic book look to it from the beginning.
Remembers it.
Yeah. So I just thought that's interesting. It's fascinating, and I don't know why. It's fascinating to me that ABC had it, because I didn't.
Yeah.
That you hear about this stuff today, but I didn't realize even back then that they would pick up a show that another network
had canceled.
So it's
So we got the bracelets in the belt. This is kind of interesting and weird. The idea that was I reading this? I can't remember if I was reading this here. There was something about the belt was supposed to like control, or the bracelets were supposed to control her, keep her
rage under
Amazon
control.
Rage under control.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that means.
Wonder Woman's bracelets kept her Amazonian rage under control. No doubt a product of creator William Morrison, dubious kinks. Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, he's an interesting man. And then the special bracelets on the next one. He said doesn't mean the bracelets didn't serve an important role. They were made from feminism. Changed from that's what he said. Changed from comics Amazonian and helped Diana to deflect bullets.
Now the article also talks about at this point.
Yeah.
They didn't have the time or the money to do a lot of extra compositing.
Yeah.
So if she was deflecting bullets, it was like little tiny explosions that were actually popping off the end of the bracelets. Like literal little explosives that she could trigger from her palm.
That's not dangerous at all.
Not dangerous at all. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine?
I can't imagine.
She basically has fireworks shooting out of her bracelets, and she's pretending that she's deflecting bullets. But crazy stuff they had to do.
And back to number 4 is the original costume.
Yeah. This is what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier, and this was the
TV movie, the backdoor pilot.
Yeah.
And somebody said something about Nazis. This next one just cracks me up.
Exactly. This was
Wonder Woman fighting Nazi horse rustlers.
with guest star Roy Rogers.
That's so awesome.
Isn't that something?
It's the most amazing thing I've ever heard.
Which is, from my understanding, based off of a comic book that was Roy Rogers and Wonder Woman went against Nazis in the West. So there you go.
That is so bizarre and weird, but I think it's so cool.
I think it's so. Yeah, I think so too. And of course, the Wonder wetsuit.
I actually remember this. I don't know why, but I actually vaguely remember this. And so what did they say? In the article, they say something about they had problems keeping her other suit on her when she was in the water. So they had to come up with a different solution. So Terrence earlier asked if there was any wardrobe malfunctions. And apparently, yes, there were.
And this is why you have the Wonder wetsuit.
This is why we have the Wonder
wetsuit. That's right. And then the next one, safety first.
Oop. I hit the wrong button.
And this looks like the cast from Welcome Back, Kotter. I mean, this looks. They said all their Wonder Woman is pretty much indivisible. She still had to set an example to boys and girls watching at home. So apparently, when riding a motorcycle, she would wear her helmet for stunts. Yes, so there you go.
How tall was Linda Carter?
Apparently, she was pretty tall.
She looks. She's 5'11". She's almost 6 foot tall. So I guess.
Yeah, she's kind of for a lot of people, Linda Carter is kind of like the Wonder Woman that Christopher Reeve was to Superman for some people.
Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
I think I like that. There was some tidbits I did not know. It was fascinating.
Yes, Todd. Cowboys and aliens happen. Why not cowboys and Nazis?
Hey, the guys are from Chips.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Don't you love it how they used to do that on a network? They would bring in other TV shows within other TV shows.
Yes.
And I know this is off the topic, like they did Mork and Mindy with Happy Days, and it was both on ABC. So they thought, hey, let's do a crossover, which that went really well. But yeah, so.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Did Wonder Woman, there really weren't any other DC shows at the time.
No, they had the Hulk. That's Marvel.
That's Marvel.
Yeah,
and I don't even know if it was the same station. I will say though, $6 Million Man, $6 Million Woman, the Hulk, Wonder Woman, all out around the same time period.
Yeah.
They all had that similar vibe, that feel.
They try to do Spider-Man.
They did try to do Spider-Man, and it didn't work very well, but they ended up, they would try to pump that out on Saturdays in movie form.
Yeah, I know.
Like 2 hours at a time.
And then their very poor attempt of Captain America.
Oh, let's not talk about Captain
America. With the floppy ears
that
he had.
No, we're not going there. We're not going there. We're not going to talk about the Captain America cycle.
As long as you don't mention the other term, I won't say it.
Well, okay, I won't mention that term.
Yeah, don't mention.
You mean midichlorians?
Yes, don't mention that. Floppy ears.
You made me say midichlorians.
Yeah, whatever.
Do you actually, the whole Captain America thing, speaking of, do you remember the deal with Captain America was his shield? It was clear, and then it'd have a stripe, and it was clear.
Yeah.
And it doubled as the windshield of his motorcycle.
I forgot about that. Oh, hell.
It was so bad.
That's so
bad. Oh my goodness. Wonder Woman was so much better. I mean, Hulk was decent.
Yeah.
Hulk was decent. Spider-Man was just okay. Captain America was a horror show.
Oh, it was a horror show.
By far, Wonder Woman had it going on. Oh, Terrence, Shazam. Do you remember the Shazam TV show?
I do. The RV?
I do, yes.
I remember Shazam.
Yes. When did that come out?
That had to be about the same time. Late 70s, maybe early 80s, maybe?
74, yeah.
74.
So this would be slightly before Wonder Woman, but I bet it was canceled. 77 was its last episode.
I remember
seeing the Wonder Woman TV show come out.
What's funny, I remember seeing that as a kid.
I do too. I watched it all the time. Wonder Woman TV show came out 75.
Yeah.
So that means like 76. Okay, so probably Shazam was just about to go off the air just as Wonder Woman was coming on to the new station. So probably just never had an opportunity to do a crossover there. That would have been a great crossover because both shows were decent.
Yeah, exactly.
They both had similar vibe, similar feel. I don't think Shazam was nearly the show that Wonder Woman was, though.
No. They had the guy who played Steve Trevor was Wagner. I'm showing my age. He used to play on the Carol Burnett show as
Wagner. No.
Kyle Wagner. Let me see
okay.
here.
Lyle Wagner.
Yes. Yeah. If you show, there's like, I have a couple photos real quick. There's one of the comic book, Steve Trevor with Wonder Woman. I don't know if you see that one or not.
Where? Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, and then
This right here.
yeah, this was the original Wonder Woman, and
This was 1941.
This was 1941, and then the next one is actually I think would be 1-Steve Trevor. It's the one where,
Oh yeah,
and that's a 1970s version of it. And of course,
Yep.
as you can tell, that's
ABC logo.
the ABC logo on that.
Yep.
And then the current one we have, which is of course, Chris Pine and Godot.
Yeah.
And the next one is actually somewhat the current comic book version. So kind of gives you an idea of the evolution of these characters. So
We've come a long way from this.
yeah.
We've come a long way from that.
And that has that original DC look, the Superman look to it.
Oh, yeah.
So it really
Oh, yeah.
does. So
Yeah. Well, that was an interesting dive into Wonder Woman. I have learned more about Wonder Woman this week than I ever thought I would ever know.
yeah, when we first talked about it, I kind of thought I don't know anything about the character except for what I've seen on TV, and it's been really interesting.
Yeah.
And what's nice about it is that when the movie comes up, 1984, which it's funny, I'm really psyched for. It's funny. It's the female characters that I'm really excited for is Black Widow.
Yes, I so want to see
And-
the more I see trailer-wise of Black Widow, the more I want to see this movie.
In 1984. So, people can't say that women are not strong front runners for comic books or, superhero movies, because
Yeah.
these are two biggies right here, and I look forward to it. So,
Yeah, and honestly, with the departure of so many lead actors from Marvel and from DC, Wonder Woman and Black Widow are kind of taking charge.
yeah.
They've got to make this happen because they're the lead. They're the ones
Yeah.
that are going to make the money, that are going to keep the movies going.
Real quick before we close it down, Black Widow, can we find out real quick what date they have on that? If they
Let me
even
take a look.
Because I know they delayed it, like many other films, but I think it'd be kind of nice to see what the date is before we go off air.
I'm showing November 6th is the scheduled date. That's if everything, because I believe everything was already shot. So I think they were just in post-production. So I think, honestly, if things were in post-production by the time everything shut down, I think there's a good possibility they can still be released on time.
Oh, I think so too. Post-production,
It really has to do with, do we have to call actors back in for pickups or for ADR, for audio replacement? Those are the things that are going to hang up.
Terrence, that's interesting. Dr. Martson and the Wonder Woman.
The Wonder Women. Is
That's
that a book? It's a documentary. I might check that out.
I think I'll check that out too.
Huh.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Am I going to regret checking it out? Is my question.
No, not if Terrence recommend it. If he recommends it, it's gold.
Do I want to know about the Wonder Women?
Why not? Well, he apparently
The
has
thruple.
Well, the thruple, the thruple. Oh, that's a whole new comic book.
Oh my goodness.
That goes with the theme of the show that we've been having earlier. So I don't know, man. I think we done it all. Have we done it all, my friend?
I don't know if we've done it all, but I think I'm done.
Done. Man, we got so many other things. Some good stuff we have in our noggins for the next couple of weeks, depending on certain things. And so
Yep.
hopefully,
So let's see what we can come up with.
yeah, that's right. So it will be next week, same time, Same station.
Wonder
Yeah.
Woman time, same Wonder Woman station.
Wednesday nights.
It's not Bat time, Bat station. That was last.
No,
that was the week before
that
last.
was the week before. So we went. So when's our time? 7 p.m.
7
Central.
p.m. Central,
Yep.
8 p.m.
eight-
Eastern, and definitely like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube. Tell your friends to subscribe. We'd love to build the audience even bigger.
Yes, that's true. Thank
Yes,
you,
it is very, very.
You know,
So
I like
is my
how,
ankle.
I like how Jason cares about your hiney.
Yeah, he brought it all back around.
Take care of the injury. Yes.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, let's end the show the way we always end the show.
All right, let's do it.
Hit it, Maestro.
This has been the Something About Something podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And my very good friend, Mr. Ricky Pope, which we're now going to get a hiney cast for him the next couple of days. Hiney cast.
The
you know
Hiney
that? The
cast.
Hiney cast. That would
I
be
get it.
as seen on TV, the Hiney cast.
Oh, no. Nobody